Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Benelli, and with my daughter, Robin.
Hello.
And our guest here today, Marie Diamond. Marie, I'm just so excited to meet you. Thank you for being here.
So excited to be here too, Colleen and Robin.
Well, and Marie is really an expert in Feng Shui and many other things as well. But today we're going to focus on Feng Shui. And I am saying that correctly. Is that right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. So I do just want to share a little bit about Marie. I also want to share with everybody for Robin and I, all of our classes, Animal Reiki, Human Reiki in February. Those are all listed on our website, ReikiLifestyle.com. So you can go to our website to find it. The one thing I do like to mention regularly is our free distance Reiki share on Tuesday mornings. Again, you can go to our website to find that information. Those are free, they're open to all, and an amazing community. So if you're looking for a community and a place to share, we're here every Tuesday. All right, on to the good stuff with Marie. So Marie Diamond is a renowned teacher and expert in Feng Shui energy mastery. Her methods and books help you discover the simple steps that can change your business and your personal future. Marie offers the wisdom she has assembled in her Diamond Feng Shui method. This encompasses not only the ancient Chinese art of arranging your environment to enhance your favorable prospects, but also energy mastery, the law of attraction, and quantum physics. I think we may have to have you back again on some of these other subjects. So Marie is often remembered for being featured in The Secret. She has built an incredible worldwide following. She's taught more than 1 million students over the past 30 years, and she is a sought-after speaker in more than 30 countries. She's a personal, business, and spiritual mentor and consultant to a who's who of celebrities in film, music, C-suites, global leadership, sports, and even in royal palaces. Counted among her clients are Steven Spielberg, Jodie Foster, Dan Aykroyd, Big Sean, Paula Abdul, Jason Bateman, and luminaries Jack Canfield and the late Bob Proctor, Dr. John Gray, Marianne Williamson, Rhonda Byrne, and, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this correctly, Vishen Lakhiani.
Yes.
Did get it right. Sometimes it doesn't take much, just the repositioning of a desk, the removal or addition of a picture, the placement or covering of a mirror, the display of a candle in the right place, and your fortunes, your health, your love life, or your family dynamics can radically change in a very short time. So she has several books, the one that we are talking about today and others, but today focusing on her book, Feng Shui Your Life, A Beginner's Guide to Using Your Home to Attract the Life of Your Dreams. And it's available from Hay House and Amazon. You can also find her on her website, mariediamond.com. You can email her through her website. Her podcast is The Marie Diamond Show. She has an app, and Marie, I'm going to have you explain your app, the Marie Diamond app. And her social media on Instagram is Marie Diamond Official and YouTube, Marie Diamond Official. So she also has the Diamond Energy Principles and the Secret of Manifestation and the Energy Number book. So Marie, I think from there's so much to say and so much that you offer. Let's go ahead and get to you now and go ahead and start sharing your story. What brought you to all of this? How did this all occur?
Well, I'm born in Belgium, a small country in Europe, and in a Catholic family. So nothing really connected me with Feng Shui at that point. But when I was 15, I had a near-death experience, and I was run over by a truck, and I was really going to the other side. And in that other realm, There were beings of light, enlightened beings, and they told me I had to come back and that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. That was a message I received. And so when I came back into this world, I had to do a lot of healing, and I had no idea how to start the healing. I had, because of the accident, my face was, all the skin was gone. And so at that point, as the first time I really connected in with Reiki, and I had no idea what it was. But my mother said they will do plastic surgery on your face, and I refused. And I said, I'm going to heal myself. Now you have to understand, in a Catholic family, you don't heal yourself. Jesus heals you, right? God heals you, or any saint in Europe. But I started literally doing that. I put my hands on my face, and I said, I am light. But I had no idea that, later on I would encounter that was Reiki. And so within a few weeks, my skin totally returned, and I was able to go back to school. Now, I was not in a good place with my memory. My brain was still very not a good place to memorize things or to study even. And I was really depressed at that time for it, because I came from a straight A student till becoming a straight F student. And so I already had a spiritual mentor on my path since I was 7. I connected with an enlightened one, and that person, would give me sometimes meditations or insights. And I asked that master, like, what did I do wrong that I attracted this accident? And he just said to me the words, you have bad feng shui, Marie. And I was like, what's that? Right? I had no idea what that meant. So, of course, I started researching in the libraries. But, in a Catholic country like Belgium, there were no books on feng shui. And so I asked him, what are like some basic things I need to do for it to change it? And he said, well, based on your birthday, you're sleeping in the north area, and the north for you is not good. You need to sleep in the west. So I actually moved to a west bedroom that was available in our house. And my life completely shifted around. I changed the colors. I changed the images around me. I painted them myself. And what happened was that from being bullied at school, beaten up, no friends, suddenly I had my first boyfriend. I had friends. The bully stopped. It was like my whole life turned around. And so I started experiencing for the first time how my environment was affecting me in a positive way, because I was in a space that, was not positive for me before. And that is actually where I started practicing some basic tips. I had no idea what to do more because there was now more information. But I started then to really think, how can I really enlighten more than 500 million people? Now, I had no idea what the word enlightenment meant, but what I experienced was I was trying to make a difference, like being part of a community, do some work for the church, all the things I could do. Now, in today's world, I would start a TikTok account, right? But at that time, that was all I knew. And so then I became a lawyer, because I felt if I would focus on changing the governments, or I would work for the United Nations as a diplomat. So in order to do that, I had to become a lawyer. So I became an international lawyer, did that for a couple of years. And then I understood that, it was not enough, right? And I started actually a center, like a well-being center. I was teaching people meditation. I encountered my first Reiki master. I became a Reiki master myself, and I finally understood what this energy in my hands was about, right? And that I was working with since I was 15 without knowing what the name was. And then I started seeing that a lot of people were doing meditations. I was doing trainings with them, but I always felt that they were like hitting a wall somehow, right? And they would come home from my seminars and they would go back in their old patterns. And that's when I started reconnecting in with feng shui. And then the first book in my language in Dutch came out. So that was a good step. But then I started teaching and studying, and I was invited to become the student of a grandmaster in Malaysia. And that is where I really was trained in the classical feng shui. And so I started implementing it right away to my students. And I started seeing that they really were shifting faster, and healing faster and attracting things easier and more effortless. And that is how my journey started.
Just fascinating. So that led you then, because I know you have your own lineage, I guess we would call it, of feng shui, called the Diamond Method of Feng Shui.
Yeah. So one of the things.
How does that all work?
Well, my grandmasters, gave me also my name. Like he said, like, you're the diamond. You need to really bring your work forward. And so one of the things I understood, because, I'm a guest in the Asian culture, but I'm very analytic. And, I have a lawyer's brain, let's put it this way. And at the same time, I've always seen energy and I always reconnect with my intuition. And so I saw when people would change something, I could see their energy shift. I could see the aura, the chakra shift. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much more to it than what even the feng shui masters talk about, because the feng shui masters will tell you certain positions, amazing information, but they would never really talk about the holistic reaction that happens to the mind, the body, and the aura field. And that was like something I saw. So I started bringing that work forward. And then, of course, talking about the law of attraction. And I was, not only into law, but I also was a very good student in mathematics. I did a lot of quantum mechanics, quantum physics. I almost became an engineer, but I ultimately decided for law. So I was very much into all that that knowledge. And I started seeing that, like, this is like the quantum physics of environment, because feng shui is literally means wind and water. It's all about the energy flow, the breath of qi, as we call that. And we can compare it with, like, in the Chinese culture, they have acupuncture, they have qigong, they have Tai Chi, and they work with the breath of Qi for the body. But Feng Shui is really the working with the breath of Qi from the environment where you're living and sleeping and working in. So it's an extension of the same principles, but then using your furniture, using the colors, using the things you place around you to really enhance your Qi. And so as I was bringing that more together, I really felt it was important for me to create my own school. So where, working together with that vibration, understanding energy, activating things, like when people put things out, I always ask them to activate it. I don't call it Reiki. If they know Reiki, I will tell them it's Reiki. It's like, you can activate things in your space, not just bodies, but like a plant, a crystal, the images you put around you. So I kind of brought all this holistic information together with feng shui, which was very new for that tradition. And so I'm very happy I did that, because I also introduced muscle testing, because a lot of people, look at an image and then I muscle test them to see if that image is strong for their mind and their body. Right. And then if we put something else, I muscle test them again. So I brought a lot of holistic knowledge together with feng shui.
Marie, is feng shui kind of a symbiotic relationship where you shift the things in your environment, shifts you, that then kind of entrains the things in your environment, and you have this kind of level of entrainment from not just the perspective of your home, but also the perspective of you affecting the things in your home? Does that question make sense?
Totally. And so it's always a question, what is the egg and what's the chicken, right? Is like, is your environment affecting you, or you affecting your environment, right? So I would say it is definitely a symbiotic experience. But, from feng shui perspective, we say that there's three kinds of luck, three kinds of energy of manifestation. And so the first one is what we call your spiritual luck. And your spiritual luck is literally, you're born into this world, your soul comes here with a divine plan. And so that is your purpose in life. And so you got some talents to express that. You got perhaps a look, you're born in a culture, born in a certain family, you have certain karmic lessons that you're learning. That's like your basic package. And, can you change some of that? Yeah. For example, I'm born in Belgium. I decide to move to the US. That's a change of my destiny. My destiny would be different if I stay in Belgium, for sure. Right. So there's like something we can change and something we can release. We can release some of the karma through, Reiki and through many other beautiful exercises. But there's like 1/3, we say in Feng Shui, that is your basic package, yeah, of energy. And then the second part is what we call the human part. And I would say in self-development, we focus on that to change your mindset, to change your behavior, and to change your actions. So to really increase your human potential, that basic package that you have received, you can increase it with the right way of thinking, feeling, and doing things. But that is actually only 1/3. Again, it's 33%. And then I would say Reiki is probably mostly focused on that part and that first part. I feel it's like a connection between the first and the second part. That's how I connected Reiki always. And then there's a last part, and that's actually what the Feng Shui masters for more than 3,000 years have started understanding. There is a quantum part of the environment, and that's the earth luck. And that is actually when we work with Feng Shui, when we work with dowsing, when we work with space clearing, that's actually where we can see that how the impact is of the environment around us. And now what I learned from my Feng Shui master is that a lot of people are focusing on these other two parts, but they never understand how it really integrates into the environment. But if you change the environment, it will ultimately change your mindset, your feelings, how you do actions, and it will ultimately help you to create that heavenly luck, that basic package, your plan, your purpose that you came with.
Fascinating.
You explain it so well. And I do want to hold up your book. It's backwards, but Feng Shui Your Life. It is an excellent book, Marie.
Yeah.
I found it because I thought I had a pretty good working idea of Feng Shui, although I can't say that I have implemented all my Feng Shui practices.
Yeah.
And environment. In fact, my environment, when you talked about the space clearing, is I need to declutter big time.
Okay.
After the pandemic, it's interesting. But anyway, I love the way your book is written because it's so clear. And as a beginner, reading it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm still a beginner with it all. It's so understandable, and it feels very freeing rather than rigid. So sometimes when you read some of these things, it's like you must do this and this and this and this. And the way you've written it is so inviting to follow these principles and practices.
Yeah, it's that's who I am, right? And so I love to invite people to that experience, like what I did for myself. And so I wanted the book to be like Marie is with you, right? Going through your house. So, and to feel the warmth and the loving energy that Feng Shui can really bring. And so it is a beginner's guide, but even people that are into Feng Shui and that have perhaps practiced, for example, the Bagua system, this is beyond the Bagua system. This is the personal Feng Shui. So it's based on your birthday. So it's a classic Feng Shui, but made in an easier way, right? Because a lot of people have a hard time to do the classic Feng Shui and then they go more to an easier level. But this is really advanced Feng Shui in a very easy, I would say, lovely way to bring it into your world. And of course, it's not just a book. It's also, we invite people also to connect in with a free app. Because a lot of people, when they work with compass Feng Shui, as we call that, to know the directions, they have a hard time to do that. So they never start practicing it because working with a compass is for most people quite complicated. And so that's why I created this free app. And so people can go to my website, but they also can see it in the Feng Shui Your Life book, or they can go to the app stores, put in Marie Diamond, and they literally put in their birthday and their birth gender because it's connected with your birth DNA. And so it creates an energy profile, and you get an energy number between 1 and 9. And these numbers give you are really connected with your purpose, actually, like the way you can bring your purpose forward. But it also brings, first of all, 4 directions that are really good for you. And then you will be able to, on that free version of the app, you will get access to your diamond compass. So, for example, my diamond compass looks like this. For you, it will look different because it's based on your birthday. And so my success direction is always indicated with blue. And if I hold the compass in the center of a space, like a living room, bedroom, office, that's where you start. Yeah. And you hold it in the center, you look, where is your success direction? Of course, you can turn it any way. It is a compass, right? So it will always calibrate how you hold it. And so my success direction right now is actually where my books are, my awards are. And below, I actually put there my bank statements, my contracts, some things that are important for my business. Yeah, because it's in my office. So people can then check this out. And of course, the book Feng Shui Life brings you through all the steps. And people have a relationship direction, a health, and a wisdom direction. So relationship in your workspace, that would be your clients, your team. In your bedroom, that is your romantic life. And of course, in the living room, it's your family and your friends. You don't want to bring in your family into your bedroom. That is a little bit too privately, to be honest. And so people just look literally like acupuncture, like what is there right now? How have I activated it? We don't put needles there, but we put images there. We put statues there. We put books there that are related with it. Yeah. And so like in my relationship direction, I have a globe. So a globe is like symbolic for all my students worldwide in 190 countries, right? I have pictures of my team there. I have some pictures of some of my celebrity clients or the clients I want to have in the future, right? So I have images of, me speaking in front of thousands of people. So it's like I resonate, and I like what you said, that symbiotic energy, Robin, like I'm, whatever my desires are, whatever my goals are, and make sure it is like acupuncturally placed in the right areas of my space. And the great thing is this works so fast, because it's like you put it there and then you start at the same time having ideas about it, like, oh, I could do this, or somebody calls you. Like I remember I put, I at some point I thought I would really like to speak in Russia. This is like many years ago, right? And so I put literally a book on Russia in my relationship direction. And within a week, somebody called me to come and speak for 3,000 women in Russia. Yeah.
It's like a 3D vision board.
It is, I call that
fun,
exactly a 3-dimensional vision board.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, who started this, right? So they were already thinking of calling me, right? So they had done some research, but they were like on the cups of, will we call them? Will we email them? Let her, like they were not sure. But as I probably subconsciously received that message, it's time to go and speak to Russia. If I just would have had it in my mind, I'm sure it would have manifest, but perhaps not so fast, not so easy. So by putting there that image, I was like telling to the universe, like each time you put it in your directions, like a portal opens up, like a portal of energy. And you're saying like, hey, universe, I'm ready, right? And then that's exactly what comes to you. Yeah, or more, or better, whatever comes that is needed for your purpose.
So how do you marry multiple people in a household in this? So let's say you might even have, I don't want to say opposite, because nothing's really opposite, but very different. Let's say like my husband has a very different energy center in one part of the house than mine.
Correct. Yes. So first of all, you will need to find out the energy number for everyone, right? That is in the house. And for the children, we always focus on the bedrooms of the children.
Okay. Yeah?
So that's like their anchor place. So I activate their success, health, relationship, and wisdom direction. Now, wisdom is all about what you study, what you educate. So like a bookcase with the books from school is great for the children, or they have certificates on something. But also wisdom is also your connection with God, your connection with your wisdom, right? Your intuition, right? So whatever that is. So therefore, Feng Shui honors every religion and every spiritual belief because we can put that in your wisdom direction. So that is for the children in their own bedroom. And so then we focus, for example, first of all, we always look who is a breadwinner. Yeah. So sometimes it's one person, sometimes they're both, at the same level of breadwinning, as we call it, the financial inflow. But we always make sure that we give them as much as possible, both of them. So the first thing we always check is we look at the front door and we hold the compass looking out into the garden. For example, if you're in an apartment, you're going to look into the hallway of the whole building and you see if the direction, because you have 4 directions that are good for you and 4 that are empty. So when you're empty, it means it doesn't give you great vibration. It's like it's too yin, it's too calm. And the good directions give you vibration, give you positive energy. So I always say to people, stand in the front door, look out and see if that's one of your good directions. That's possible it's a good direction for you and it's not a good direction for your partner, right? So then we're going to look at the bedroom and we're going to make sure that the bed is then placed in favor of the other person. So, but you figure that out by standing at the foot end. Again, you hold the compass and you see towards where the head is, if that is a good direction for the partner. So it's like the front door is one, the bedroom is the second one. Now it's possible you feel like nothing is good for one person, it's everything for the other person. Then you can look at the workspace, at the desk. Yeah. So you can, again, for example, I'm holding my compass. I look in front of me, and I'm looking at my wisdom direction here. Right. So my wisdom direction, that's good. It's a good area. Now my husband doesn't come here. So this is really my space. Yeah. Now the front door is really good for my husband. Yeah. It's not so good for me. Yeah. So I give him the front door and I make sure the bed direction was good for me and my desk is good for me. And then where he's sitting in the family room, where it's like his favorite place to watch television, I make sure again, it's in his good direction. Yeah. So we try to balance the directions out. Plus you also activate your directions. Yeah. So for example, my husband sits more in the family room. So I will activate his 4 best directions in the family room. Yeah. While, for example, I focus on my office. Yeah. It doesn't mean you have to activate everything everywhere. Like my success directions to activate here, my relationship. But in my bedroom, I love to activate my health direction because that's where, I'm recovering and re-energizing. So you can look at the directions and then activate them by placing the right items or crystals or anything that resonates with you. So we always like to make sure that everybody has something that is good for them.
Wonderful. So go ahead, Colleen.
Well, I was wondering about, because I know in the book you find your personal energy number. And then, so if someone doesn't have your app, how do they find either of those things? And I mean, I love the way you're explaining it because I've always only known the Bagua system, and that it is complicated and a lot to think about. So I love,
especially if you have a weird shaped house.
Mhm.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
And of course, in more advanced feng shui, even we'll still look at that. But, if people don't have the app, there is a list in the book to tell which number it is based on your birthday. And then you need to get a normal camping compass, right? When you go hiking, for example, right? There's a hiking compass that you can use. It's just a little bit more difficult to really understand how it works. Well, most people, they just use my compass wherever they are sitting, wherever they are. Hey, it's based on my birthday. It's so easy. Of course, everybody has to look at their own compass, Like for Robin, it will be different than Colleen. So that's why you need to download it yourself. But it's really practical and easy, and it's very advanced feng shui, and it works very personal and very direct. And of course, the Bagua system is a system that was kind of created in America, like in the early 1990s. And it's actually not considered classic feng shui, but it works for a lot of houses very well, but not for all the houses. Yeah. So it works very well for houses that are facing the cardinal directions, like north, east, south, and west. But if you have a house northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, the Bagua system is off. And so a lot of people don't always have the greatest results with it. Yeah. But with personal feng shui, as it's based on you, yeah, it's much easier. And so, and of course, in more advanced feng shui, then we look at the shape of the houses, we look at the front door, but we go much deeper because every front door degree, like if you have 180 degree or you have 7 degree, gives you a complete different outcome of feng shui. So it's much more complicated, actually, even than the Bagua, if we continue the direction. But that's in our feng shui certification programs.
Really interesting. It's so personal. And as Colleen said, with the freedom and the kind of vision board idea, can be very creative as well. And as you said, and so much of our audience are, Reiki practitioners, masters, some, there's a lot that aren't also, but that you can sit in this kind of energetic piece of it and listen to your intentions and, use these activations, this energy to also help you create your reality with this. I mean, as you well know, with The Secret.
Yeah. And, even with Reiki symbols, that I have a lot of Reiki practitioners and, for example, there are some Reiki symbols to create a certain health and balance. They can put them in their health directions, or there are others creating abundance. So they can put them in their success direction. So you can use what resonates with you, right? So, and that's for everybody different. And that's what I like about, like, my husband really loves everything about Formula One. I mean, I'm not into it, right? So in his success direction, he has things connected with his Formula One races that he visited. I mean, that's his thing. Like for me, it's something completely different. So in that sense, it's so special. Like my son is into music. Of course, he has, the things that he loves to work with and connect with his career. Right. My daughter is into acting and into music. So she activates her success direction for what she loves. Right. And the great thing is then it's easier sometimes to give a gift also. Like, for example, I gave her like a book on all the red carpets of all the Hollywood, major events, right? So it's like, hey, one day you want to walk the red carpet, like she can put that book in her success direction. So it's really like everybody has a book. Right? Reiki practitioners, you have a book, you have a certification, you have perhaps an image of Reiki masters that you really love and both of you, right? So you can actually take a picture or a book and put it in your success direction. So you don't really have to buy always things, right? You can literally, I say sometimes to people, go to Google, put something in, click on images, print it out, and always put it in a beautiful frame. Yeah. When you place it in the direction, the best color is gold, because gold creates always exponential positive energy and abundance. So just having that there, it's just like you're creating that vision board. You're reminding yourself all the time what you want to focus on.
Well, it's so simple. And I love that you explained that, because my first thought was, okay, I need to move all my furniture, but it doesn't really fit. And it's, how am I going to make this work? And where would I put things if they don't really fit? And so I love your explanation, because again, it's that freedom and individuality.
Yes, it's an individual energy. Like, for example, we will probably always try to sit in a face in a way that you're seeing the door. So, but like having a wall behind you, I think you both have that. right? That you're both seeing the door, people coming in. So even if you work online, you want that vibration, right? So having a desk against the wall is actually not considered positive because you're having the back to the door and you're hitting a wall, like literally a financial wall, a creative wall. So that's something I always say, you have to have space around you because your aura field needs to breathe. Yeah. So your healing energy needs to radiate out. Yeah. So make sure that you always have space around you. And that's why decluttering is part of it, right? So that you look at like, what can I let go of? What can I detoxify from my home?
So, Marie, what are some kind of tips and tricks that people can take away from this, or maybe some issues, like you just said, don't have your back to the door kind of ideas that are easy and simple for people to do right now?
Well, I would first of all like you to go into your house again, like with new eyes. Yeah. Think about if the universe, if the light would come in here, what would they see? Like perhaps they have pictures out from your children, your family that are, not current anymore. The pictures were 5 and they're 25 now. So I'm great. Everything, right? Everything that is broken, let it go. Everything that is dead also. And you have some dead leaves behind you, Robin.
Okay.
Right? That is something you need to let go because subconsciously you're actually you're showing leaves that are alive and leaves that are dead. Yeah. So actually that creates more criticism actually when people look at you. So remove them, right? No dead things around you like leaves, flowers, potpourri, all this needs to go. Anything that is spiky leaves, you let that go. Like the rest of your plant is beautiful. I love that. Yeah. So you need to really look at it. Is this the kind of life I want to live? If your romance is really dead and you have all images of strong women around you and lonely women, then you have been giving yourself subconsciously the permission to stay lonely. So take that out, especially in the bedroom, especially the places where you are living. In the hallway, I would say that's kind of okay. But when you come into your entrance and there's this image of a strong woman alone by herself, you're telling to everyone, I'm okay by being by myself, right? So just change these little things and then start decluttering, go to the cabinets and the closets and like, what can I let go of? Yeah. So 10 to 20% you let go of and you create space for new energy to come in. And then, of course, then you start really focusing on your personal feng shui and start using the book Feng Shui Your Life.
I have so much to do.
Run back there. Remove that plant.
Well, you can help each other. The great thing is that when you need to declutter, always bring in a buddy or a friend or a family member, because everything we pick, it has a story, right? And subconsciously, it's not that we don't want to let go of the item. We just don't sometimes want to let go of the story behind it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So if there's somebody telling you, yes, yeah, I understand. And you're like, oh, this candle. Oh, yes, I bought this on the market with my daughter. And like, will you still use this candle? That's the question. Yeah. Will you still use this in the next year? Yeah, I will. Okay, keep it. Yeah. Not what gives you joy, but what very practical. And like sometimes people have, hundreds of books, right? But, perhaps there are books that you're like, I'm never going to read that. I'm never going to really use this anymore. And, I could give it away to some friends and family or to charity. So we have a very specific space clearing technique that we're using that have helped so many people to really release some of the things that, you can let go of.
Well, your space clearing tips in your book are really good.
Okay.
Again, they're simple and friendly. So it feels very doable rather than overwhelming.
Yeah, and I've practiced that myself, and I've moved, I think, in 27 houses. So I know what it is to let go of things in my life. I lived in 7 countries, so I know how it works. But, it's a thing, we have some stories, and we can keep some of the things that give us stories because it feels good for us, but not everything, right?
Mhm. The other thing that you talk about in your book are the archetypes of the personal numbers. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So every energy number has what we call an energy archetype. For example, I'm a connector, I'm a 5. And so it is so what I am. Like, I love connecting, first of all, the dots. I love connecting east and west, but I also love talking to people. I love people, and I want to know their stories. A lot of people, the connectors, also seen a little bit as a mother figure, so people feel very, at ease with me. I want to know what is going on with them. I love putting people together. I have many marriages I created. So, but also like, oh, I know somebody for you. Let me call them. Like, I love, being generous with my contacts. And so that's part of who I am. Now, somebody else can be what I would call the advisor, the number 7. Then they will be always, people will come to them for advice, or they will give like generously advice. It's kind of who they are. So, but there's more explanation. There's a part of it in the Feng Shui Your Life book, but we also have a second book, and that's the second book I would suggest to people that they can get on Amazon. It's called the Energy Number Book, because every archetype creates a whole profile of what you attract as businesses, how you do businesses, what are good things for your health, what are the ways that you are living a relationship, what are great gifts even for you, and how you also connecting with God, what are traditions and rituals and steps that work for your connection with the higher realms. So this is actually based on your profile. And so I want to go deeper into it and then again activate that. Because then, for example, I love, connecting with space. Yeah. So space is, the moon, the stars, the galaxy. If I could have been, I would have become an astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like amazing. That's for my next life, probably. Right. So, but everything about that is just something that inspires me. And so when I really want to connect in with that, that's really good for my health. Yeah. So stargazing, for example, like being outside and seeing the galaxy, seeing the Milky Way, that just gives me such an inspiration. Yeah. So in my relationship, in my health direction, I put, for example, an image of the Milky Way. Yeah. So because that gives me, I can't go everywhere out to see the Milky Way. I'm in LA. There's too much light. I can't see it. Right.
You can see one star.
One star, right? Or the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
There
right?
you go.
But so by putting that there, so it helps you to inspire you what you can place around you, but also every energy archetype has colors connected with it. Yeah. And so people can really see that on the app. When they go to the app, I just have to open the app.
And Marie, real quick question. So the power numbers are different than like the Enneagram, because when you were saying those numbers, and it's based on the Feng Shui system and your birthday that you enter into the app. Okay.
So yeah, it's completely different than Enneagram. Now, people that do the Enneagram are telling, sometimes there are a few that relate. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's only 7 numbers in Enneagram, I think, or there's 9.
There's 9. Yeah.
But there are some say they relate, but they're different.
Okay.
The numbers are not just adding the numbers of your birth year up. Yeah, it's a whole calculation. There's a mathematical formula behind it, and so we're adding numbers, we're subtracting numbers for depending which gender, and they're different every 100 years. So it's like a whole calculation. But like I said, there's also colors behind it, right? So they can even see that. And it's also talked about in the book Feng Shui Your Life. In the circle around the app, they can actually see the colors. Like for me, rose and gold are the strongest colors. And that's why my book is also in this color.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the app the book, the energy number book, is what calculates your number, but the app takes it into consideration for your colors.
So no, the app itself calculates the numbers.
Okay,
Yeah,
also does. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
just the energy number book if you want to know more about
Gotcha. Okay.
right? But these are like the two really strong books, Feng Shui Your Life, because it's like it brings you step by step what you need to do.
Okay.
You want to know more about your energy number. And then, in the app, you have the calculation, the app compass that is so crucial to do the feng shui. And then if people want to go more and deeper in the energy number, there's all bunch of videos and meditations when they want to upgrade on the app.
So say the names of those again slowly so everybody can hear it, because I know it's Marie Diamond, but and they can just Google you and you have lots of resources, but go ahead and just say it again to make sure everybody can hear.
Of course. So for the app, you just go to the App Store and you put in Marie Diamond and you will get the free app. And for the book Feng Shui Your Life, is the book that we talk about today. There's a second book, the Energy Number book, and that is also available on Amazon. And mariediamond.com is where they get all access to the information. And there's a lot of free advice on my YouTube channel, Marie Diamond Official. On my Instagram, there are every few days wonderful videos. Marie Diamond Official is also the name. So there's a lot of free information, and the book really brings it all together. And it's like Marie is with you, going step by step through your home.
Yeah, definitely a wealth of information on your social media.
Yeah, and I'm excited to read more about the energy number. I looked Robin and I up in this book, and we are both 8s. So I want to know more about that.
You're a 9 Enneagram too, Colleen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. That's interesting. I didn't know. Yeah, cool.
So for you both, the Southwest is your success direction. So you will need to look, where is the Southwest in the office that you have? So I would like you to put there a certification for sure, but put there the logo of your podcasts. Yeah. Because that is actually going to attract more recognition, more appreciation for what you're doing. And then put in the West, because West is your relationship direction, put a globe, because you want to connect in with more countries and more people, and the globe is a representation of that. And then definitely put a picture of both of you together, because you are a team, right? I know you're mother and daughter, but you're also partners in this beautiful journey, and put that picture also in your relationship direction.
Well, my office is in the Southwest of my house.
Oh,
that is super good. But just really remove the plans, because you're actually putting that energy in your success direction.
I'm literally going to do it as soon as we hang up from this.
I know.
No worries there. I hear you.
Whole altar back here.
Well, you supported with a lot of beautiful things. It's always good to have behind you things that support you, right? It can be spiritual things. It can be, representations of God, of heaven. So I have that also behind me. So you can't really see that now, but there's something that represents me. It represents God, to me. Yeah.
Well, I think I still need to do some decluttering, because what you can see on the camera and then what is off camera. So do some decluttering in it too.
Yeah, well, always think less is more. Yeah.
Yeah. And you do talk about the space clearing.
Yeah.
Now, are you teaching classes too? And do you see individual clients?
Yes, I do individual consulting. And so sometimes people do that online, sometimes in person when I'm in their area or I'm in Los Angeles. And we also have people that are certified. So if it's in other countries and they want to work with somebody in person to come to their house, and I cannot travel the whole world. So we have some people that would connect with you. And we, of course, do online courses. There is a free masterclass on the website, and then you can go into a journey to connect in the Diamond Feng Shui School to really get your whole certification if people want to. We have classes on the inner diamond, that's like inner Feng Shui that we're working with. We're working specifically with colors to change the vibration. And we also work with diamond dowsing. So because another part of clearing and energizing your environment is dowsing. So on that alone, we have hundreds of thousands of students to make sure that the magnetic field of your house is also strong.
So I know we're running out of time, but can you just give us a quick thing about the dowsing?
Yeah, of course. So dowsing is really an ancient energy system also that is not connected with the Chinese alone. So the Druids were very well known for that. A lot of shamans would use that to find wells, to find water. And the Chinese were always using it to make sure, the same as the Druids, to find ley lines. So ley lines are like meridians, lines on the earth. And like in Europe, the Druids would then put temples on it. But later on, they would then build cathedrals on it because that information was passed on to the masons of cathedrals. They would put palaces on it. So because if we have ley lines and we have crossing of ley lines, we create a positive vortex. When you sit on that positive vortex, you have more delta vibrations. So you have more healing power. You will be also more accepted as a powerful being. That's why altars and churches were placed on these positive vortexes. The king or the queens would have their throne on such a positive vortex. But you also have energy that is not so positive on the earth. And there's like underground water, what we call geopathic stress or fault lines. So when people, for example, sleep on this geopathic stress, underground water, or these fault lines, they have their immune system start slowing down. And so that is where people, try to avoid going to sleep, or they wake up in the morning, they are not very energized, their brain is a little bit off. And so what happens is we can actually cure that. And in that case, we really literally use acupuncture system. And so I have, instead of the needles on the body, we have specific long needles that we place then in, and we dowsing is with dowsing rods. So we're finding the exact area where this negative frequency comes in, and we repolarize it so that that negative energy becomes positive. And so people have amazing results with better sleep, better healing. They feel like very at home, like the energy is just so beautiful. I tell you, you have much more energy. You look younger. That's one of people always asking me, like, how can you look like this at 60? I'm telling you, it's because I have feng shui and dowsed home, because there's no stress anymore in the house. Yeah. And so people have amazing results with their family. The conflicts are less. Children are thriving. Businesses are thriving once the magnetic field is in total harmony. And so that's what dowsing is. And you can find it on marydiamond.com. And it's called Diamond Dowsing. There's a beautiful online course that people can study and then get the cures to do it in their home. It's a very easy course to learn. And we have more than 300,000 students just on that course alone.
That is so fascinating, because Robin actually had some chronic health issues. And when I was doing a Reiki session on her, and in fact, it's the one that we posted on our YouTube channel last year. Oh, we didn't post it. That was a personal one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it was a personal one. And what I saw with it is she lives on a negative vortex, that the groundwater just goes straight down to the river.
Wow.
And she's on a hill above the river, and that river flows to the Columbia, and that river flows to the Pacific. And she's just in this complete flow that's natural.
Yeah.
But it was draining her.
When you sleep on it, when you live on it, your immune system is actually really going down. And so people start having chronic issues, right? So you need to really check out my diamond dowsing.
I definitely am.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I mean,
I mean, as soon as you
something
talked
you
about
can
that, I
do
was like,
yourself. I don't need to come in. People do it themselves because, once I learned that, and I also became very sick once in a similar situation, being on a hill, water underground. And I knew about dowsing, but I just did not know how to do it myself. And I attracted in my life a master that then passed on. He gave all his information to me, also how to cure it. And so I started teaching it, after I was totally from being 4 months super sick, as living in that house. I just within a few weeks, I felt so much better, and I started teaching this information. It is life changing. I mean, knowing your feng shui and dowsing is totally life changing. Once you know it, you can help immediately your friends and family.
right.
wow, thank you so much. And I would say to our listeners too, one thing with Marie's website, she has so many resources, and her information, that's something that's really important to Robin and I, is providing resources that people can find.
Yeah.
And that are easy to use. And, we're careful about what books we recommend and people. And this is just an excellent book. And now I'm really excited about your dowsing, because I'm thinking, wait, I live on a hill. The water is definitely running.
Water comes under.
French drains everywhere.
Right. Yeah. And it's like here in LA, for example, it's much more fault lines. Yeah.
Yes.
That are happening. Right. But I also live on a hill. So the first thing that my husband always asks, have we doused the place? Animals react to it right away. They're much more in harmony. You as a family are more in harmony. Like literally people come in my house, they don't want to leave. They're like, because the energy is so different than in their own space. And it's very simple. They're just acupuncture sticks that we put out, and they're very activated. That's done with alchemy. And so you put them out on the ground. Yeah. And then it's like, as you are so sensitive, you will feel it right away. I can feel the smell changes right away. The muskiness of the underground water disappears. I just had this one woman 3 days ago. I was in her home, and she said to me, I haven't slept in 30 years in this bedroom. I sleep like 3-4 hours. I got used to it. And I said, well, let me put the cures in and call me the next day. And she called me. It's like, I slept 7 hours, Marie. I've never had this in my life. What happens is that because that water frequency is neutralized, it's like suddenly the body can relax. Yeah. She said, I had for the first time, I cannot remember in many years, a beautiful dream. Yeah. Because it stops your chakras, it just, people avoid going to sleep means that there's something in the bedroom that is like not in a positive sense. So they stay as long as possible up, or in the morning they're foggy, like they don't have the good energy. And literally your home is a magnetic field, and you can change it. Yeah. And so we also have on the website, people can look for it. We have special rings. They're like quantum rings that we have activated. And when people sit on it, they immediately get a positive vortex. Yeah. So I have one under my computer. So anything that this computer is not affecting my electromagnetic vibration. So it's totally neutralized. So we also can neutralize with acupuncture sticks, Wi-Fi, phones that are coming in. So there's different levels of it, yeah, that you all learn in the Diamond Dowsing Basic. And a lot of healers are using it, first of all, to increase the place where they are working and healing, right? Because that needs to be the highest frequency possible.
Well, and I love it because it's like a one place to find the information.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very doable. The way you've written it and presented it, it's very doable. And because everything that you've talked about, I've done a little bit of.
Yeah.
But this is comprehensive then, and like you say, a holistic approach to it all.
Correct.
Including
Yes.
Reiki, of course.
Yes, and I'm so happy that Reiki came in my life. And I know you did not know I was a Reiki master, but that has always been part of what we're doing. But it's just because everything is one field, and we can really increase that. And most of us have forgotten our home, right? That is also part of our energy field.
Taking it a little bit for granted is what I would say, is I've been taking my home for granted. So it's time to go space by space, probably corner by corner, actually.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a huge disaster, but
well, we can always improve, right?
Yes.
And so that's the whole thing. So even if we improve 1%, our life shifts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole point. And so many times people have options around them that don't even are aware of. And like I said, it's not that you have to go and buy things. You will probably have most of the things in place. You just have to replace them in the right areas.
And activate them.
And activate them with good Reiki.
Well, just thank you so much. We have absolutely appreciated your time and all of the information that you bring and contributing to, did you say 500 million people?
500 million people. And with The Secret, we actually reached that point already.
Did. Oh my gosh. So exciting.
And I want to thank you, Colleen and Robin, for your wonderful contribution to humanity. I know you're always inviting everybody, but I want to tell people how important it is, what your work is about, and the differences that you make in people's lives. I really want to honor that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, again, this is Marie Diamond, and mariediamond.com. Feng Shui Your Life is her book that we're talking about today. But as you can hear, there are so many other resources that she provides with your energy number and dowsing.
The app.
The app.
Go get the app.
Be sure we say the app, because I'm going to get it, because I read it and looked at it and then just didn't follow through with getting the app. So same thing. That's next in the next 10 minutes. Getting your app.
Thank you so much, both of you, for this wonderful conversation.
Yes. Thank you, Marie. And thank you to all our listeners, and many blessings to all of you.